Okay, everybody, if you would take time now to mute your call, that will help a lot, and we'll let Kelly take over the call. So we're going on mute and recommend everybody else does too. So thanks.
Great. Well, welcome everybody. This is Kelly Kenny with Test My Pitch, and we're the online platform that helps students create and get feedback on their business idea and pitches. Part of the platform includes Score My Pitch, which is the screen that you're seeing right now. And I'm going to encourage you, this is really simple, so it won't take very long, but if you have questions, unmute, ask, jump in. We're happy to spot anything as we're walking through, as well as the GVSU team, if there's something particular about the event that we want to include at any given point, feel free to jump in. So when you arrive at the event, you're going to be handed a piece of paper. Isn't that exciting? So on the piece of paper, it's your judge orientation, and it's going to give you a couple quick things that you're going to need to know in order to log in. So what's the Wi-Fi network? What's the password to get in? What I will have you do once you get online is to go to scoremypitch.com, and then each judge has a login code. So it's GVSU, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something, at scoremypitch.com, and you have your password is feedback, capital F, and the letter 1. Pretty simple concept. When you get to the page, I'm going to log in right now, and I'm going to log in as me. And you should see a welcome screen. Now, as you see the welcome screen, you'll see that there's multiple events here that I've been invited to vote on. This particular one is the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, the judge orientation that I designed just for you. You might have a couple different ones to choose from. Pay attention to your number if you know what you're assigned to, or the specific, which pitch you're going to be looking at. So when you log in, you're already accepted in. All you have to do is click on Vote Now. It'll tell you which ballot that you're in. This is our judge orientation ballot. And I want to point out a few things as we go through. Number 1, your evaluation criteria. This is really important. When you're looking at these 10-minute pitches, what is it that you're looking for? This is an idea pitch. Is it a good idea, and is it a sustainable business? All the other attributes that you might be thinking about really aren't important or pertinent to this evaluation, so just so we're all starting from the same starting place. As you go through this, I'm going to scroll down here a little bit, and this is your actual ballot. This is the criteria for the 10-minute pitches that, and I know that through the day you have different types of presentations, so the ballot might look a little bit different, but this is for that first 10-minute pitch that everybody's going to be doing. As you'll see, on our left, you have biotech stars, agriculture, next big thing, and Facebook future competition. Those are our teams, fictitious obviously. And then our criteria, so you have 2 categories, presentation and viability of the company. So under presentation, you're going to look at the actual presentation and how well did they do in the Q&A. You also have, under the viability of the company, the problem, confidence, the market, capability, validation, prototype, finance, revenue, investability. So you got 10 minutes. You can get through this. It should be pretty simple. You might want to, when you first get logged in, read through the definitions, make sure you're comfortable about what you're going to be reviewing on. And if I scroll over here to the right, what you're going to see is the strengths and recommendations input areas. What we recommend is, as you're listening to a pitch, jot down your notes and the strengths and recommendations. Good eye contact. Whatever you feel the strength about that pitch is, and a recommendation would be something, when you think about it, if you're looking at these different criteria on a scale of 1 being poor, 5 being exceptional, if you gave someone a 2, you might want to make a recommendation about why did you give them what would make that a 5. You want to keep it a little bit positive, but keep it in the form where it's executable. So, do better next time isn't as good in the recommendation as you're missing the market opportunity by, whatever quotient. So you want to make a recommendation point, and as you're listening, just keep taking notes, top to bottom, and then we usually recommend as the presentations are winding up or during that Q&A section when you've got a minute, you're going to go through and rank this particular presentation on the different evaluation criteria. So it's a pretty simple process, and you'll see that you're getting the tally of this particular rank for this team is ranking as you go through. And what you're going to see is how this team compares to the next. Looks like our second picture is a little better than our first. Yay. One thing we've learned after being at hundreds of events is your first couple pitches, the judging is usually harder. Just natural tendency because you don't know what you're going to see through the day. So don't worry about that. As you go through and you're listening to more pitches, you can go back and readjust your scoring and give a little higher mark to 1 or 2 so that the relative ranking as you're going through the day makes sense to what you're seeing as it evolves. This is supposed to be real time, your impression in the moment, and it can be adjusted as somebody comes out a little bit later that has just rock star stuff and you want to amp that up, you can adjust as you go through. So as we're going through, it's a pretty simple process. You're going to evaluate, make comments on all, and then when you finish your judge, all you have to do is click to finish your vote. That completes it. What you're going to see is I didn't fill out all the different teams, so the system is giving me an error message to say, hey, Kelly, you missed something. So that just gives you an opportunity to go back, and with 10 criteria, you guys might miss one here or there. It's a little bit eye-bending, but just be patient. You'll figure out where you missed something, and you go in and complete it. You'll finish your vote. We recommend that you complete your vote before you go into deliberation. That will really help you in the conversation because you'll be able to see your collective thoughts on the given set of teams that you've evaluated. So does anybody have any questions so far?
I have one question, not about this, but just how, when you guys sent us that judging scorecard, part of it was in 1 to 5, and part of it was a judging 1 to 10. Do you guys know what I mean?
I think, Kim, are you talking about the iStart?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the iStart, you're mainly looking at the business plan, which is, as far as weights, it's about 30% of the overall score. But this one is purely, you're judging on the presentation skills and the viability of the company. So they're, kind of similar questions, similar scoring cards, but the other one it was slightly different, and that was designed primarily for the written component of the plan, for those judges who had to read the plans. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it doesn't really, as far as forms, they don't really tie directly to this form.
No, no. This one will be separate from the other form, and you're purely looking at this point, for the final event, you're looking at the presentation and the viability of the company.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Anything else out there before we move in to look at a finished ballot? Okay. So we would have completed our ballot and clicked on finish. I'm going to go to a completed card so you can see what one looks like with all the information. This is for a different event, and they embedded the actual video, so when people are going back to review, they can see the presentations as they were presented. Oops, look at that. I just jumped to a different screen. Sorry about that. And I'll do this. My apologies. Great. This is what we're looking at. So when you go to your judge deliberation, what you want to do is take a look at the overall ranking that you have. So in this particular event, they had 10 teams, and they have the scores with the ranking. They also had, in this particular event, audience votes, but you guys aren't going to be using that. So here's the team ranking and their aggregated scores between the 5 judges. Here are the judge comments, and you'll see these little bars in between. These are anonymous feedback, but you'll know where one judge ends and the second picks up. Really interesting to see the amount of feedback that you get. Our event tally shows that you get 9 times more when you actually use a tablet. And we do highly recommend a tablet or a laptop. Although this is adaptable to phones, it's really not easy to navigate, and with that many criteria, to see the whole scorecard as you're going through it. We've had people attempt it, and they tend to get really frustrated. So, it's doable, but you got to be really savvy on your phone. So I highly recommend a fully charged laptop or tablet, and you're good to go. When you get together in judges post-deliberation, take a look at what you've come up combined, and then talk through the differences. And what you'll see is there's a way to override the judging if you as a group decide for whatever reason that even though the numeric score came out to be something, you'd like to place 4th team in 3rd, or however you'd like to work it out. So it's definitely flexible and automated. One other thing, I don't know, but just from past events that we've observed, especially an event this large, we had problems with Wi-Fi in the past. As you're entering your scores, things will be saved in the system as you go through, but you might get bounced out because of a Wi-Fi challenge. We recommend logging back in. You should see your card, and it'll show an error saying, hey, you haven't completed. Just continue. You'll be fine. If you have ongoing problems, what we had to do in a particularly large event recently was a person in the room actually used their phone as a hotspot. Somebody in the room will know how to do it, and I just am giving you a resource in case that happens. Think about setting up your phone so that you can be a local hotspot, because when you got 80 judges and a lot of things happening and you're typically on a guest network, you can get bounced, and since you are running off a platform that is running on the web, you need connectivity. So just a what if and a way to get around it. So this is a completed scorecard. All the information is in. It's valuable feedback for those participating, and I believe you're going to take this and marry it up with the business plan and then move into your next presentation mode from there.
Hey, Kelly, I have a quick question. So how do the judges see the completed scorecard in their room? They have to, I assume all of them have to hit the finish the vote at the end of the presentations?
Correct. You'll hit finish vote, and then you'll log out and log back in, and I'll show you what you can do from there. Let me just, so when you log back in, you'll come back to the member page, and you can click on let's look at one that's completed. Not a completed vote. I don't know. I know the Yale is completed. So you can view the e-scorecard. And the detailed scorecard. And here you are back at your compiled list. So I'll walk through that one more time just so you can see what I did. When you log back in, you're going to click on Vote Now. Even though you've already submitted, you click on Vote Now. You're going to view the e-scorecard and click on the detailed card, which you'll be able to see each other's feedback and input. It just takes a second to load up. And there you are. You're live. And the consolidated scores, this one doesn't have it, of course. I clicked on the wrong one. But you'll see your combined thinking and the scores from your other judges.
Would it be helpful if we're GVSU, should I just log into my regular GVSU login and I don't need the guest login, right?
Oh, are you talking about Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for the Wi-Fi, yeah, if you're at GVSU, you can just use your GVSU login. But all the judges, will have, I sent out this morning an email with a sheet that has the Wi-Fi login, username, password, as well as the score pitch login credentials.
I just thought maybe it'd leave a little more bandwidth if I use the regular.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're at GVSU, it'll be easier to just use your GVSU login.
Great. What other kinds of questions do we have? All right. Well,
this question is actually for Sharuk and Kevin. So if I'm understanding this correctly, we're using one system to evaluate the business plans, and I start to evaluate the pitches on Friday.
Yeah, so yeah, we're using two systems. The iStart is for scoring the business plans, and that's primarily for round one judges and specialty award judges. And then for the final competition, because that's a live event, we're using the Score My Pitch, which is, to look primarily at the presentation skills and the viability of the company.
Okay.
And by the way, I don't know if we have some, I know we have some idea pitch and specialty award judges. They are going to be using a different scorecard. This one that we're seeing right now is primarily for round one judges and for the final round judges. And idea pitch and specialty awards, they're going to have different scorecards. But it functions the same way. It's going to be the same process. It's just you're going to have a different set of questions.
Sharuk, so what so on the business plan, it was kind of in pieces, like I said before, the 1 through 10 and then the 1 through 5. So I got on and put that online, but it only asked for the 1 through 5 questions, not the ones that had the 1 through 10. Is there somewhere else we're supposed to upload that to? Because I didn't see anything to.
No, I think all of it should be 1 through 5. I'm not sure where the 1 through 10. I can, if you'd like to call me afterwards, I can look through it. But everything, you do not need to upload anything. If you log into iStart, you download the business plan and the financials, and then you fill out the scores and the comments right there in the system. So you should not be, you do not need to download or upload anything.
Okay, just checking because they didn't ask me.
Yeah, no problem. And I'll give you a call afterwards. We'll walk through it.
Okay.
Great. Well, we're done with the Score My Pitch overview. If anyone has questions or you guys all have my number, I'm happy to help and assist. But good luck with your event, and we look forward to seeing some fabulous comments.
All right. Thank you, Kelly, and thanks for everyone for being on the phone call. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll see you Friday.